Hey fans, it's the one and only Chris Carnage with this guy, Everett Lee, and we are here for yet another round of Riot Pro Wrestling presents Afterburn, our weekly recap show that shows you the latest and greatest from Riot Pro Wrestling every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, with us calling the action.
That's right, Chris, especially calling the action. This week, we look at the matchup between D.Ramos from the Pyramid going up against the Riot Pro Wrestling Young Lions champion, Christian Mills, in a non-title match.
D.Ramos made his return to Riot Pro Wrestling back in October of last year with an impact. D.Ramos aligned himself with the Pyramid with Sean Scott, Sean Hawley, and Chico Adams. D.Ramos also has an up and down relationship with his former tag team partner, Vertigo.
Yeah, Vertigo and D.Ramos ran up and down in a lot of promotions here in Florida, and they're both together here at Riot Pro Wrestling. But D.Ramos was brought in by Mr. Showtime, and Mr. Showtime knows what's best for business, Chris, bringing in a muscle like D.Ramos. I mean, you've seen what happened at the Greed show.
I did. And you know what? Ramos is a very powerful and intelligent individual, very dangerous. So I could understand why Showtime brought him in. But at the end of the day, with how Showtime is running Vigilante, it feels like all over Riot Pro Wrestling, I just can't agree with it.
Well, you got to make an impact. You got to make a statement, and he did that with him. What started the Pyramid at Trick or Treason, tearing up the ring, and then taking on in a 6-man tag against the Riot Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion JD and the House of Spades, and how that outcome happened, and carrying on into what happened at Retribution. D.Ramos is making a point that he is here at Riot Pro Wrestling. D.Ramos is such a diverse person that, like I say on commentary, Chris, when push comes to shove, he'll throw the kitchen sink at you. And history shows that it got so intense at a past Riot Pro Wrestling show that the cops came in. Mm-hmm. The cops got called, and they actually came in because things got out of hand at a Riot Pro Wrestling show. So
you know, I can't say I'm surprised given the type of individual D.Ramos is. Like I said, he is a dangerous man. So at the end of the day, like I said, can't be surprised. But with how things have been going down, with the way he's been inserting himself into multiple lines and fractures of Riot Pro Wrestling, Showtime, I feel like, is just using him as his little pit bull to kind of unleash on the rest of the roster.
Well, Chris, what better way than to send a muscle in like D.Ramos going in there and taking control of situations that happens. And all Mr. Showtime wants is best for business, and what other way than to use a person like D.Ramos?
This is very true. I can't argue with that, but you know, there is a lot more, I feel like, to this. And our cameras captured an unusual situation in the back, considering Raven Knight's cookies that led to this interaction between D.Ramos and Vertigo that our cameras caught. Check it out now.
Oh, man. Finally moving into my new office, and cookies. Raven? You know what? It's Retribution. This is going to be okay. I can't go wrong with this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so sick of this. I gotta get ready. Sick of these. Another one of these stupid cookies. Ugh.
Oh, left some cookies? I would have left them cookies too, bro. They not Oreos.
Hey D, how you doing?
You good? Yeah, chilling, bro.
Hey, what about those cookies? Hey,
what you doing?
What's supposed to do to what?
Come on, man. Don't be eating this, man. This is not an Oreo, bro.
Well, I like cookies.
Apparently, Daytona likes Oreos around here.
I don't mind Oreos, chocolate chip, vanilla wafers. It's the damn cookie.
Basura, mano. That's basura on some real shit, bro. Let's talk, man. What's going on,
What?
bro? What's
What's
going
What's
on?
going on what? I'm doing my you're doing your That was...
But we supposed to be doing this together, you feel me? Look who I'm with. The faction I'm with, bro. Think of this. Think of the worst baseball team. We need a Tani.
That's the thing. That's the question you with. Otani can handle
It's what I
this
got
stuff
reinstated with,
by
bro.
itself. We were doing this for a while. We were taking this over. But now you're with the wrong people. Hey, just think about it. It's like you said, all personal, nothing from business.
You're right. You're right. It is personal. Go ahead and eat them if you want to, but I'm
Nah, I don't
gonna mud butt all night.
I don't want anything. I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I'm talking about, too. You're on the same page with me. Why does everyone not like Raven Knight's cookies? Because I love them, man. I love them. Didn't you see that right there? I love them.
Everett Lee, I really thought we were going on the same page in the same direction, and then you took the book, ripped the page out, balled it up, threw it in the river. I don't look. You think those cookies are good?
I love them, man. They're
Oh, my
delicious.
goodness,
They're
man.
delicious. I don't know what anyone's talking about. You know what, Chris? This is what we'll do. You see, you're already knocking stuff over. Well, this is what we'll do, Chris. On an upcoming episode, I will get a hold of Raven Knight's cookies, and I will eat one here live on Afterburn. What about that?
You know, I'm going to hold you to that, Everett Lee. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to reach out to Raven Knight myself and make sure it happens.
Do it. Let's make it happen.
Oh,
Eric.
we are going to make it happen. But you know what? These cookies, though, like we said earlier, led to this interaction between D.Ramos and Vertigo, and I don't think either one of them really enjoyed the cookies, just to put that note out there. But a very interesting interaction where we saw D.Ramos trying to basically recruit Vertigo.
He is. Again, a history between Vertigo and D.Ramos, with them being in promotions together in Florida. And here they are at Riot Pro Wrestling, and D.Ramos just, hey, why don't you come walk on the wild side here, because it's actually cool because you get cookies.
My goodness. You and these cookies. I just can't with you. I just can't. But getting back to the match at hand, we saw D.Ramos and the Young Lions champion, Christian Mills, going at it, even though it leaned a lot further to the side of D.Ramos. Christian Mills had someone intervene on his behalf to be able to pick up the fall and make magic happen against D.Ramos, but Christian Mills did pay for it in the end.
He did, Chris. He did. You seen the beating on his chest Ramos gave him, and Ramos was not even happy with the outcome of the match.
No, absolutely he wasn't. He ended up losing the match. So, understandably, I can understand. But at the end of the day, you got to win how you got to win, especially with what Mr. Showtime has been putting Christian Mills through.
Definitely. I agree with you right there. Let's take a look at the closing moments of this match. You can see for yourself.
Oh, my goodness. As Ramos delivers yet another brutal chop to Christian Mills.
What's Christian Mills doing? Taking a rest? He needs to get up and get at Ramos.
I fear for Christian Mills. I feel like the referee may need to think about stopping this match as we see the brutality that's been inflicted on Christian Mills.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Did you see that, Everett Lee?
I seen it. I'm actually speechless right now. Look at the hurt and the power that Ramos has applied to Christian Mills.
Absolutely, as Ramos is just now taunting and stalking Christian Mills. But Christian Mills coming out with a huge forearm, trying to muster something in this match. finds something deep within himself so he can try and get back in it. Hits the rope, but is hit by a huge back elbow from Ramos.
Ramos slowed him down there. Christian Mills is hurt. He has put the hurting on Mills. Look at his chest, Chris. Wow. He's taking him to the chop shop for sure on this.
Absolutely, he has Everett Lee, as we see Showtime just dancing around back there, enjoying the beating that Christian Mills is taking here. Ramos having that submission maneuver just locked in so deep.
He's teaching Christian Mills a lesson. This is what happens when you're a fighting champion. Behind one opponent, Chris, is another bigger opponent, and that is the dog and the fight that Ramos is given to Christian Mills.
Absolutely, as we see now Christian Mills hitting the rope, trying to fight back, delivering a huge pop-up drop kick to Ramos, stunning Ramos. Christian Mills trying to keep on the offensive. Oh, and hits a huge running double knee into the corner on Ramos, rolls him over. 1, 2, oh, Showtime. Pulling Christian Mills off of Ramos.
Not yet. Mr. Showtime wants to make sure it's not going to be over yet because the punishment needs to still be endured to Christian Mills.
Oh my
Ramos is going to teach him a lesson, but no.
Christian Mills not trying to be phased. He delivers a huge kick to Ramos after he kicked out, hitting the rope, ducks the clothesline. Oh my goodness! But Ramos hits him and destroys Christian Mills with a huge pounce, knocking Christian Mills out of the ring.
Wow, Christian Mills flew right out of the ring there, Chris. Christian needs to get back in the ring and face Ramos.
Christian Mills is just trying, I think, to collect himself at this moment as Ramos, makes his way to the outside.
This is what a fighting champion should do. He needs to get up and get back in there and go after Ramos.
Ramos now bouncing the head of Christian Mills off the ring apron.
Wow.
Slowing this match way down. He needs to be careful, though. He needs to be cognizant of the ref's count. Oh my goodness. Mr. Showtime with another cheap shot on Christian Mills.
Christian Mills was sliding, and he was trying to help him up there, Chris.
Everett, we seriously need to get those eyes checked as Ramos delivers another huge shot to Christian Mills. When will this brutality end?
It will end when Ramos wants it to end, Chris, because he's going to teach Christian Mills a lesson. That's what Mr. Showtime wants and Mr. Showtime gets.
Either way, we see Ramos delivering another series of chops to the already damaged chest of Christian Mills. Ramos now picking up Christian Mills and giving him a toss back into the ring. And then having some words. Wait. Did he get counted out?
What?
The ref just said that this match is over. Ramos got counted out. He didn't make it into the ring in time.
No! I can't believe that. Ramos should have won this. Ramos, what are you thinking, Ramos? I don't get this. Sometimes I can be happy, Chris. I don't like this.
Well, Ramos attacking Christian Mills in a fit of rage at what he did. I mean, that's on Ramos. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. What's Ramos going to do, Chris?
I'm not sure, but Jacob Guile has a steel chair. He swings for Ramos, and Ramos intelligently rolling out of the ring.
Why you rocking, huh? Want to hit me from behind? Want to hit me from behind? What you talking about, huh? Come on. Your mother. Get in this
What?
ring. Mother. Come in this ring. Bitch.
What?
Get mother.
What's Jacob Guile upset about?
Well, Jacob Guile apparently is very upset about the fact that Pyramid interfered and attacked him before his tag team match during the Riot Bowl. But Jacob Guile saving Christian Mills and now offering his hand. At least somebody got out there to help him. That was a brutality.
Well, I was about to run out there and help him, Chris, though, but Jacob Guile beat me to the punch. So I just sitting back here and just making sure from a distance, from afar, that he's all right.
Look at his chest. You see the damage inflicted by Ramos on Christian Mills. Mr. Showtime definitely having it out for our Riot Pro Wrestling Young Lions champion, but he found a way to still stand tall. But as you saw there, a lot of craziness. Jacob Guile, though, getting back at D.Ramos. Good for him. So happy he was able to get that.
I was worried, like you, Chris, I was worried, everyone in attendance, that a wild man like the Kickstarter Jacob Guile coming in the ring and swinging a chair, trying to take people's heads off. I guess he had another power mat, and he decided to come in there and try some CrossFit with the chair. I just can't believe this, man. I just can't believe this. Him going after D.Ramos. I can't believe it. But, hey.
What are you talking about? Given that D.Ramos came out and attacked Jacob Guile in the second round of the Riot Bowl, I feel like Jacob Guile was perfectly justified. No one was being gone after except for D.Ramos. Jacob Guile had one man in mind, and he got him.
Well, he tried. He tried to swing for the fences, but he did not get Ramos with that chair. Thank God Ramos got out of the way. I'm so glad he's safe and he's okay.
And you know what? Of course you would say something like that. But you know what? At the end of the day, the Young Lions champion, Christian Mills, was able to pick up the win with a little bit of help. But, you know, I do worry about what Mr. Showtime has next for Christian Mills.
It's speaking of what's next, Chris. How about next week's episode coming out this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific? What do we have to look forward to?
Oh, we have the final round of the Riot Bowl with some interesting twists a lot of people did not expect.
They didn't expect that. I didn't expect it, and it was a lot of chaos that happened, and it's going to be just craziness.
And you know what? That was just to the lead up to the final. The outcome was shocking.
It was. You're going to have to tune in this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific to see what we're talking about. And there's something else I'll be talking about too, Chris. Our next live event from Riot Pro Wrestling presents Spring Breakout, coming to you Saturday, March 16th at 4 p.m. at the Volusia Mall in Daytona Beach next to the old Sears Outlet. Tickets are now available on eventbrite.com. And if you see right there at the top of the flyer there, we have none other than Bobby Fish coming to Riot Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely excited for Bobby Fish to come in and be a part of Riot Pro Wrestling and everything we're doing here. Absolutely amazing.
It is amazing. Can't wait. And I'm sure Bobby Fish, Chris, keeps up the Riot Pro Wrestling on social media like everybody else does.
Yeah, and if you're not keeping up with Riot Pro Wrestling, what are you doing? You need to go hop on over to Facebook, search Riot PW and hit that like button, and then scamper on over to Instagram and X and search Riot PW Official, smash those like and follow buttons, and of course, the good old YouTube channel, Riot PW 3628. Hit that subscribe button. That way you can see the latest and greatest content from Riot Pro Wrestling, including Afterburn.
That's right. It's been great, Chris, and I can't wait for next week's episode of Afterburn.
Absolutely. It's going to be great. You guys need to make sure you catch it. But we thank you guys so much for joining us. From Chris Carnage and Everett Lee, thank you for watching Riot Pro Wrestling's Afterburn.